Alright, yeah, Shalom, Aki. Before I start this video, I'd like to give all praise, honors, and glories unto Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash. Alright, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash. Alright, I'd also like to give double honors unto the apostles and unto the elders of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and rule well. I also like to give a sincere salutations out there unto you, unto Dr. Malcolm, teaching his word with sincerity and faith. All right, to you, I say shalom. I also like to give a sincere shalom to both the elect of the nation of Israel and sincere Akim Aqua that watch our videos. All right, the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, who the originally called Yahweh or Jehovah, and his name means he exists. All right, he's the existing one, the ancient of days, the Holy One of Israel. And the name of the only begotten Son, which is Yahweh Shai, all right, who the world originally called Jesus the Christ. And his name, he saves, he delivers. All right, he's the Redeemer of Israel. All right, Israel consists of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indies, Seminole Indians, Haitians, Colombians, Uruguayans, Argentinians, and Panamanians. All right, if you descended from that on your father's side, pursuant to Numbers 1 and 18, where it states that the children of Israel named themselves after the congregation of their father's house, all right, you are an Israelite. You're one of the Most High chosen people. So when you call upon the power, when you pray to Him, you must say Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Because scriptures state that no man may cometh unto the Father but through the Son, which is Yahweh Shai. Right? Today's lesson is going to be going into how close we are to the fall and the crash of the U.S. dollar and the global dollar, honestly, because the dollar is patented after the U.S. dollar, Babylon the Great, which the nation had drunk of the wine of wrath of fornication. See with Jeremiah 51:7 and Revelations 14, Revelation 18. All right. So let's watch this video because they're simulating they simulated a fall of the dollar because they're getting ready to crash the dollar. They want to see how it's going to play out and how people are going to react when the dollar crashes, so when they can bring in that money. Okay. These elites work off something called order out of chaos. Order out of chaos. All right, they're gonna crash the dollar, bring in a lot of chaos. It's also going to result in what? Sedition amongst men, the collapse of society before they bring in the new world order, and ultimately martial law, totalitarianism, and those FEMA camps, which they're also going to use that the what? The Crown Royale virus to to start them off as Crown Royale camps, quarantine camps before they turn into what? FEMA camps. So it's started.
This is Dabu 7 with a big time heads up here in terms of a war game that was just played out by Israel, the United States, Britain, Germany, Italy, and a bunch of other goons simulating an attack on our financial system, the financial markets around the world. And they attempted to create this realistic scenario where panic and chaos all unraveled. They dubbed this collective strength, and it was carried out yesterday. This was an international cyber drill that had all these folks along, and they call it a war game. They even had the financial sector and institutes in this with them, the big banks, including the IMF and the World Bank. It doesn't get any bigger than this in terms of the big dogs, big drills, and blatantly flaunting it in front of your face what they're about to do. We all know the House of Cards is going to come down at some point, but they have strategically gone through this and said that what they've done is create havoc in the financial markets over a period of 10 days. So the exercise, dubbed a war game once again by the Israeli Finance Ministry.
Because they know that this is going to ultimately cause war amongst the countries because these countries have patented their whole system and everything that they do after Babylon the Great. They've drunk on the wine of the wrath of fornication, and once it fails, it's going to what? It's going to make them angry, pursuant to Jeremiah 51:7. Okay, let's grab that. This is Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahweh Shai's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. This is going to be called a war game because the nations are going to be furious when the dollar crashes because their dollar is based off the US dollar, which is the World Bank, all right? And that's going to cause all hell is going to break loose everywhere, all right? This is one of the things that's going to cause all hell to break loose, all right? You know, that's also going to cause a war, but who's organizing this war? Yahweh Shai. I believe it's no, it's not Job. Salakia, Valley. whole Valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Oh, it's Joel Salaki. I knew it started with a J. Salaki, Salaki. I'm gonna get back into the Greek. I'm gonna sharpen myself. This is Joel period too. I also gather all nations and bring them down to the Valley of Yahweh Shaphat. I'm gonna plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, because Israel is a people before it is a place. All right. The name is the land is named after the people that inherit it, whom they have scattered among the nations and have parted my land. Skip down to verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. It's not talking about the Israelite foreigners that are scattered amongst the globe. So to James 1 and 1 is talking about the real Gentiles, the other nations, the heathens. Prepare war, make up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Be your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say, I am strong. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. Okay, we're seeing countries like Australia standing up for themselves, Taiwan, all these different countries proclaiming themselves to be strong, because it's biblical prophecy. Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hands of Yahweh Bashim Shai. As the rivers of living water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Right, verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, to the cause thy mighty was to come down, O Yahweh Bashim Shai. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, which stands for Yahweh's judgment. For there I will seek to judge all the heathen round about. So let's finish this video.
Ran through a number of different kinds of attacks, including the breaches that affected foreign exchange units, bond markets, liquidity, the data shared between exporters and importers around the world, and they examined misleading news reports, as well as what the government should do to counter all of it. Folks, we are dealing with people here on this planet that like to set drills in big events.
All right, so we're gonna end that there. All right, but what is this also going to lead to? This war? It's going to lead to thermonuclear destruction. It's going to lead the to the destruction of Babylon the Great. Uh, Shoot at her. It's either in Jeremiah or Second Ezra. I'm sorry, Jeremiah 50 and 13, because of the wrath of Yahweh Shemashai shall not be inhabited. No, I'm sorry, start from verse 10. No, I'm gonna start from verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. And this is talking about Russia, the north country, Russia, yep. And they shall set themselves in array against her. This is talking about Russia and all the countries that are allied unto him, or her, which is China and all these other countries that choose to side themselves in World War III unto Russia and China. And they shall set themselves in array against her, and from this she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain. Those arrows are talking about what? Thermonuclear missiles, the ICBM missiles. Okay. Verse 10, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahweh Shah, because you are glad, because you rejoice, and you destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellows and bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of nations shall be a wilderness and dry land and a desert. This is talking about Babylon the Great. This place is going to be made a desolate wilderness, and nobody will inhabit it here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yep. Or Britain, as in the mother of America. Yeah, because this place is still ran by Great Britain, and America is going to be a dry desert wilderness. Yep. Verse 13, because the wrath of Yahweh shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goes by Babylon shall be astonished and hissed at all her plagues. Put yourself in array against Babylon. Shoot at her, spare no arrows. She hath sinned against Yahweh shall. Shoot at her round about. She hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen. Her walls were thrown down, for it is the vengeance of Yahweh Shai. Take vengeance upon her as she had done do unto her, That's a precept to Revelations, okay? 18 and I believe 5 or 6. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh Shai hath remembered her iniquities, reward her as she even rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled to her double. You see, the Old Testament and the New Testament work hand in hand. It's not the whole Bible does not contradict itself. It all speaks about the same theme: the future prophecy and destruction of Babylon the Great, and the resurrection of Israel, all right? The revival of Israel, the redemption of Israel, okay? And ultimately, these people are going to try to buy themselves out of this destruction, all right? They're going to try to buy themselves out of their destruction, pursuant to Isaiah 13, I believe it's 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. And not only that, the regular people of the world, they're not even going to be able to use any money until the Karma comes, okay? Because there's so it's Zephaniah 1 and 10, okay? Because once the dollar crashes, then that's it. You're gonna be all total anarchy, so you're not gonna be able to buy anything. You're not gonna be able to sell anything. So what are people gonna do? They're gonna be out here robbing, stealing, killing, and pillaging, okay? Zephaniah 1 and 10, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh Shai, that there shall be a noise of the cry from the fish gate, and an howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hill. How the inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. Alright, and this is going to cause sedition amongst men and invading one another. So it's like Ezra, the 15th chapter, and I'm going to start from verse 14. Woe to the world, and them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions to stand in their power. Alright? So you see, this is exactly what's going to happen, right? And these people are going to try their hardest to buy themselves out of their destruction, but it's not going to work. So it's Zephaniah 1 and 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh Shai's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. And all this talk about the crash of the dollar and the simulations of the World Bank failing and other dollar failures leading to what? The mark and the car. So in Revelations 13 and 16. And he causes all, both small and great, free and poor, rich and poor, free and both, to receive a markers in their right hand or in their foreheads, alright, which is going into the Neuralink or the RFID microchip. Have the mark or the name of the beast and the number of his name. Here's wisdom, let him that hath an understanding count the number of the beast, for the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 6. So with that, I would give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Kakadash. Pray as the lesson was edifying. Till next time I say, Shalom.